Today's video is sponsored by Manscaped.
What's up, everybody? I just want to come by and to thank everybody for the love and for the support. For those of you who don't know, I got married this past weekend, and it was a nice day. It was a special day for me and my wife, and it was a day that I knew that I had to share with the world, and it's a scary thing to share with the world because of the condition that the world is in.
So this past year, the big scandal was, of course, the whole Bishop Sycamore situation. The quote-unquote imaginary high school football team that had the internet on fire earlier this year. But as Bishop Sycamore was making itself at home on the trending page, well, seasoned football fans were reminded of a particular football scandal from the past. Apparently, when it comes to anything imaginary in football, people think of Manti Te'o, aka dude with the fake girlfriend. But look, it's been damn near 10 years since my man got catfish worse than any other public figure ever had. So when I covered this story back in 2017, Manti was still in what we thought were the early stages of his career, but a whole lot done changed since them days. Today, Manti is nearly 10 years removed from one of college football's biggest scandals. He last played in the NFL in 2019, and at least at the moment, he seems to be effectively retired from the sport. Now, you might look at his life now and you're like, bro, it don't really seem that amazing to me. It seems like a normal life. And that is exactly my point. Now, in order to truly appreciate how far somebody's come, you gotta slow down and take a look at not only where they come from, but also what they've come through. The date is September 15, 2012. Reigning Defensive Player of the Year and Heisman finalist Manti Te'o is set to take the field following the loss of not one, but two women that he revered. Manti's grandma, Miss Annette Santiago, passed away on a Tuesday night. Then, on the following Wednesday morning, only a few hours later, mind you, his girlfriend also passes. Her name was Lene Kukua. The two women were separated by 50 years. Miss Lynette was 72, Lene Kukua 22. A few days later, like only a true warrior can, Manti Te'o played through the pain, and he played like a man possessed. He accumulated 12 total tackles, 2 deflections, and a fumble recovery. He led that defense and held number 10 ranked Michigan State to just 3 points in that game. For MSU, it was the only game that entire season where they did not score a touchdown. After the game, Manti gave a heartfelt speech. I mean, they were with me. I couldn't do it without them. I couldn't do it without the support of my family and my girlfriend's family. I miss them. I miss them, but I know I'll see them again one day. Manti's heroic performance sent shockwaves through the college football world. The candid battle cry of a war-torn soldier playing through a different kind of pain that reached much further than anybody imagined, well beyond the sport itself. It was a moment that will forever go down in history for all the wrong reasons. An investigation by a couple journalists uncovered the actual ugly truth. As it turned out, Manti Te'o had been catfished, like made a complete fool of. And the story of his gullibility was now the main focus of the media coverage. Lene Kukua, the girlfriend he never met in person not a single time, was actually a fictional character created by this dude, a guy named Renaya Te'asasasfo, or something like that, aka old boy disguised as old girl. So at this point, everybody knows the girl was fake. But if it's true that perception is reality, and Manti really believed she existed, which he did at the time, then the pain of that person passing away would be very real pain. Make-believe person, yes, but he would have experienced this as actual real pain. Then you add on top of that the very real passing of his grandmother, which again actually happened only a few hours before he got the news of his girlfriend. Now, dudes have developed trust issues for far less. So if you doubted that Manti would ever have a normal relationship and just be a functioning member of society after this, I mean, I can't blame you. It's a therapist somewhere watching this like, damn, bro, they did what? But today, Manti is no longer that gullible kid that got taken advantage of and embarrassed on a national level. Today, he's the grown-ass man who lived through all of that. An extremely important distinction. Now, Manti actually had a pretty decent NFL career, and believe it or not, dude's even found himself a new girlfriend with photo proof that this one actually exists. Big shout out to Manti, bro. When this stuff happened, people was trying to tear the man down from every direction. Now, he went through it and he's still kicking, and for that he has my respect. Anyway, man, today you're watching Manti Te'o. Where are they now? Without further ado, Y'all already know what time it is, fellas. Cue the Wayne.
Yeah, you'll never no quitter, 'cause I'ma go get her.
All right, real quick before we jump in, time for a word from today's video sponsor, Manscaped. All right, we back with an early Christmas present, the brand new performance package from Manscaped. You got your weed whacker, that's a nose and ear hair trimmer, and it's actually got the same skin safe tech as the flagship Lawnmower 4.0. Waterproof trimmer, like completely safe to use on the skin, no nicks, no cuts, and of course you got your fan favorite LED light built in. Now you're also gonna get your crop reviver and crop preserver, deodorant to keep you alive, and some toner to potentially bring you back to life. They also have the shears, which is an important part of a man's grooming process, but this one happens to not take place below the waist. This is just for your hand, bro. Now to keep the holiday spirit going with 2 free gifts in the shared travel bag and the Manscaped boxer briefs. So if you haven't already, go ahead and add Manscaped to your wish list for this holiday season. And to the ladies that watch, if you got a man in your life that's been reasonably good, go ahead and hook him up with the performance package from Manscaped. And once you do that, you'll get the shared travel bag and the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs for free. So a gift that comes with more gifts. So don't wait. Go to manscaped.com and use my code FlemLo20 to get 20% off international shipping plus 2 free gifts. Shout out to Manscaped once again for sponsoring the video. Without further ado, after being drafted in the 2nd round, Manti Te'o didn't exactly live up to the hype. After a decorated high school and college career, Manti's NFL career is generally looked at as a disappointment and, understandably so. However, when you look at his career from a bird's eye view, dude actually held a decent account of himself. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So Manti Te'o was drafted by the San Diego Chargers in the 2nd round of the 2013 draft. His stock had fallen a bit, but the Chargers actually traded up to get him in the 2nd round, and he was still expected to come in and be the starting middle linebacker. Then, as if the expectations weren't already high enough, bro, the last linebacker the Chargers drafted that was of Polynesian descent, this man, NFL legend, Junior Seau. May he rest in peace. We talking about a 6-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, 12-time Pro Bowler, NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1992, and, of course, NFL Hall of Famer. So while expecting Manti to live up to the on-field standards set by Junior Seau was unreasonable, and I want y'all to really think about this, but how many reasonable people do you actually know? Things actually started out somewhat promising for dude in his first few years in the league. For his first career interception, he picked off Tom Brady while covering Rob Gronkowski, 2 actual football GOATs. So you can't take that one away from dude. Another fun fact, and one of those cool kind of coincidental crossovers, his first NFL sack was on Colin Kaepernick, who also happened to be the first player he tackled in his college career. So I don't know what's up with that very weird coincidence, but there you go, fun facts, baby. Going into 2016, Manti's Charger teammates voted him a team captain. He was coming off the best season of his young career, 83 tackles, a half a sack, 1 forced fumble, a pick, and 5 tackles for loss the year before. Being named team captain as a young player, coming off your best season as a pro while going into a contract year, is about as good a setup as anybody has ever had. I mean, something pretty drastic would have to happen in order for them to not re-sign you. Something drastic happened. Now, Manti had his share of issues in the league. He wasn't the biggest, and he damn sure wasn't the fastest with that 4.8 40. But his biggest issue was actually neither of those. Now, his biggest issue was the fact that he couldn't stay healthy. Something that many players struggle with because there's ways to lower the percentage or the chances of you getting hurt. But obviously, those preventative measures do not 100% guarantee anything. And it's football, so people get hurt. It's a part of the game. An injury to his right foot caused him to miss the preseason and the first few regular season games as a rookie. Then the next year, he missed 6 games after breaking a bone in that same foot. In year 3, he missed 4 games with the sprained ankle. And then in year 4, contract year for a 2nd round pick, he tore his damn Achilles, bro. The Chargers don't re-sign him. The Chargers instead decided to give that money to a player they selected 38 picks later. 38 picks after Manti. Oh, the player's name? Some dude named Keenan Allen? Heard of him? 3-time Pro Bowler? Yep. So he signed with the Saints and actually led that team in tackles for loss in 2017. He racked up 62 total tackles and 8 TFLs, and even played in all 16 games for the first time in his career. It was starting to look like Manti had found a new home. Like maybe you can go ahead and kind of pencil him in as the Saints starting linebacker. Problem was, his name on the injury report. That was written in ink. So what did he do 1 year after playing the most games he'd ever played in the season? He followed it up by playing the second fewest games of his entire career, only suiting up for 5 contests in 2018. The following year, more of the same. He matched his career low in games played with only 3, and he hasn't recorded an NFL stat now in 3 years. Still in 2020, during the height of the pandemic craze, Manti still hadn't given up on ball. He signed with the Bears practice squad but never spent any significant time on the active roster, and today he seems to be effectively retired after 6 active years in the league, where he reportedly earned a very nice $10 million for his trouble. Like I said in the beginning, dudes have developed deep-seated trust issues, all from situations far less sinister than what Manti had to deal with. And while I have no idea how much therapy it took for him to shake back from this, a decade later, and he's done it. Manti Te'o is living great. He just married personal trainer Jovi Nicole and Bino last year, and the couple seems to be reasonably happy. Now apparently she does have a bit of a checkered past as far as some arrests back in the day. And I won't say this information didn't concern me a bit when I first came across it, because if Manti was my friend at this point in his life, I would have preferred dude fall for a librarian or kindergarten teacher or something like that, you know what I'm saying? But they've been dating since 2017 and then decided to tie the knot last year. In the same way I come on here and allow current and former football players to move on from their past mistakes, when it comes to anybody else, no matter sex, race, whatever, I always try to keep that exact same energy. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll assume everything is on the up and up until proven otherwise. After all that BS back in the day, the man actually found love. And I don't care how tough you are, that's a beautiful thing. And if you feel different, you need to look in the mirror, because you might be hating. Straight up. 10 years ago, this man was a laughingstock, drowning under both real and perceived loss. His NFL career was unceremonious as the sports world largely forgot about dude, outside of that one situation. But during the 4 NFL seasons where he actually played 10 games or more, the man averaged 67 tackles and 6 tackles for loss per season. In 5 postseason games, he recorded 31 tackles and a sack, so while he was not a star player by any means, in the NFL, he was reasonably productive at the highest level of the sport that we all tried to play growing up. He made several $1 million doing it, and if not for injuries, who knows what the man could have developed into. When he left the game, he faded from memory, and losing the spotlight can be tough for a lot of former athletes. But Manti wisely realized that sometimes people forgetting about you for a little period of time, that could be the best thing for you. You can just exist free of daily judgments and other people's expectations, and only then can you truly grow into the person that you was always meant to be. All your prior experiences, I found that it's most effective and most useful to you going forward to view all those past events as basically an elaborate set of tests designed to prepare you for exactly where you are today. And the tests that you face in the day, those two will begin to make sense the further you move into the future. When you were 6, you thought you were smart as hell. You talk back to your parents. When you were 16, you thought you at 6 was an idiot. When you were 26, you thought you at 16 was an idiot. When you're 36, you're gonna think you at 26, you get it. But good or bad, appreciate it all. Appreciate the wisdom in it. Appreciate the fact that you went through that stress and you built your muscle up. You know what I'm saying? It's all a part of the human experience, and you only live it one time. So don't let your past break you down. Instead, take pride in the fact that you came through that and you still here. Use them prior experiences and the scars you picked up along the way as receipts for the growth that you earned through your struggle. Peace.